Welcome to Weekly Parsha Thoughts for Parshat Vayakhel. Before we get started, click the subscribe button so you can keep getting our new videos when they're published. And if you find you're enjoying this series, click the like button in your YouTube player. It goes a long way to helping YouTube recommend the series to others. Let's take a look at the Parsha. Vayakhel Moshe kol hadat bnei Israel vayomer aleihem. And Moshe gathered the entire congregation of Israel and said to them. It is extremely rare that the Torah records Moses speaking to the Jewish people. Rather, it is God who speaks to Moshe, instructing him to bring his message to the Jewish people. So why then does Moses, on his own initiative, gather the people and actually talk to them? What was so important that he had to gather the entire nation of Israel? Now, one might assume that Moshe had some new critical piece of information to share with the people. Yet, that does not seem to be the case. Moshe simply tells them that they may not work on Shabbat, something that they already knew very well. In fact, up to this point, it was the most repeated part of the Torah. You see, even before receiving the Torah, the people were told that Shabbat was special and manna bread would not fall on this day. We know that Shabbat is the longest and most detailed of the Ten Commandments and is mentioned in Parshat Mishpatim, Parshat Ki Tisa, and now here again. So for this, he had to gather the entire nation? Clearly, there was little need to tell them about Shabbat, and that was not the reason he gathered the people. So let's go back. Less than 6 months had passed from the Exodus to Moses coming down with the second set of tablets, having obtained forgiveness from God. And yet Moshe spent 120 of those days, or some 70% of the time, away from the people. If there ever was a time the people needed to connect with Moses, this was it. And yet he is nowhere to be found. He spent that time literally and figuratively in the clouds, communing and talking with Hashem. Now, if the gulf between the human and the divine is unbridgeable, well then, Moses is by definition out of touch with the people. And it came to pass when Moshe descended from Mount Sinai, and the 2 tablets of the testimony were in Moshe's hand, and Moshe did not know that the skin of his face had become radiant while God had spoken with him. Living in the clouds, eating no bread or water for 40 days. Moses had absolutely no idea that there was anything unusual about himself. Is it any wonder the people, and that includes Aaron, could not relate to Moshe? And Aaron and all the children of Israel saw Moses, and behold, the skin of his face had become radiant, and they were afraid to come near him. It is impossible to lead a people when the people are afraid to approach their leader. Moshe sadly had little connection to the people. He may have redeemed them, led them in song after the splitting of the sea, brought them to Sinai, but what he had not done was to speak with the people. He may have spoken face to face with God, panim el panim, but he did not actually speak to his fellow Jews. When Moses first arrives in Egypt, it is Aaron who speaks to the elders of Israel. Moses remains silent. When he does speak regarding the instructions for the night of the Passover Exodus, Moshe speaks to the elders only. When they arrive at the sea with the Egyptians on their heels, God tells Moshe, Ma titzak elai, to stop crying to him and speak to the Jewish people to journey forth. But there is no record of Moshe actually speaking to the people. When the people first complained to Moses and Aaron about the lack of food and water, Moshe again is silent. When the Jewish people again complain about the lack of water, Moshe does finally speak to the people. But the words he says, "Why are you arguing with me? Why are you testing God?" Not the warmest of ways to connect to his people. Now, Moshe does have a very nice conversation, though, with his visiting father-in-law, Jethro. But with the children of Israel, little more than silence. When God presents his covenant, Moses relays it to the elders. When Moses does speak to the people, it's to tell the men to separate from their wives for 3 days. Not exactly a warm connection. Moshe had indeed claimed that he was not an ish devarim, a man of words. However, time and time again, Moshe demonstrated that he was a most effective orator, able to convince God to change his decision. But he clearly had difficulty speaking to the average person. But the sin of the golden calf not only changed the people's relationship with God, it now changed Moshe's relationship to his people. At long last, he realized that he would need to connect to the people. So he gathers the entire nation of the people of Israel. Now, what he said was almost irrelevant. It was the gathering of the people that mattered most. That is why this Sedra is named Vayakhel, and he gathered. It also happens to be the same Hebrew word used for a congregation, kielah. Moshe finally understood that now is not the time to teach some new law. Rather, he told them a law they were most familiar with, helping him to reconnect to the people on a universal level. Shabbat was obviously the easiest law for Moses to rekindle his relationship to the children of Israel. Moshe understood that leadership is about building connections, bringing people together in a shared mission and purpose. In our own lives, let us remember that. Let us understand the importance of connecting to one another. And may our connections lead us to a better, more unified world. Shabbat Shalom.
This week, members of the Song Shul observe Yortzeit for the following people: David Pullen, David Beryl Herschel, husband of Devorah Pullen; Rita Starkman, Rachel, mother of Sylvia Silverstein; Sonia Bottler, grandmother of Cheryl Kapp; Saul Bottler, uncle of Cheryl Kapp; Philip Chasen, father of Diane Zweig; Percy Fishman, Peretz ben Moshe Natan v'Yocheved, father of Mel Fishman; Leslie Bulkin, Eliezer ben Tzvi HaKohen, father of Ron Failer. May their memories be for a blessing, and may their neshamot have aliyot at this time. This week we celebrate the birthdays of these members of the Song Shul: Noah Heisler, Carol Mitchell, Mel Fishman, Carolyn Bokar-Gordon, Roseanne Burns, Helena Schechter, and Marilyn Anthony.
To the Song Shul members who are celebrating birthdays this week, we wish you Mazal Tov. To those Song Shul members commemorating Yortzeit this coming week, we wish you Chaim Aruchim, long life, and may the neshamot of your loved ones have an aliyah. The Parsha is Vayakhel, to make a congregation, to come together. So, remember, in this coming week, come together, make the congregation. Make your congregation. Be part of this kahal, this community in song. Anytime that you feel alone, come to the Song Shul. We're there for you. Shabbat Shalom.